Hi everyone, it's Simon here, back with a Smithy tip, latest in the series of things that might get you a bit moist. This one's about project management, and if you've got multiple projects that you need to kind of oversee, be it in a creative space or if you're in a workspace, I use this thing called Asana. You can use something like Trello, but I find that Trello is covered by Asana, and Asana goes a little bit further than that for the free version. There's a premium version of Asana, and no, this isn't sponsored. This is genuinely what I use. So for the free version, you can have up to 10 people as part of your company. As you can see on this one, there's only me, which is sad, but it's only me that does all of the stuff. But I did use this for some work stuff as well, which I found quite helpful. Now this is the team calendar view where you can see lots of different buttons and they're all different colours, and the colours relate to the different projects that I've got over on the left hand side here. So I've created a project for each website that I run, my Patreon, my feature radio station that I'm hoping to have up and running in the next few months. And what I've been doing is putting tasks into those projects with dates on that then appear in this team calendar by the time that we're done. So the team calendar gives you a massive overview of everything that you've got going. Now, if I take a look at a project here, and I'm going to dive into calendar view, because that's the most representative. You can see each project has its own calendar as well. So for every time I've been doing bits and bobs here, you can see I've been using this for quite some time. It keeps me on track with knowing what I need to have published as I go along. So if you want to start from scratch, I'll show you just how. Once you've registered with Asana, you'll go over to projects and you'll create a new project. We'll call this Smithy's Tips. And you can decide the layout of if you want something as a list or as a board. Now a list is very simple if you just want to check stuff off as you go along. A board is much more like the Trello way of dealing stuff, which is what's called a Kanban wall. And I'm going to show you that version because I think it's slightly more interesting. And our board will be blank at the moment. So what I'm going to do, on a very simple level, I've gone into calendar view, and then I'm going to type on today's date, and I'm going to give myself a task. So my task will be record Smithy tip 2, because this is the second in the series. So you give it a date. You can assign it to anyone that's signed up to your company. So if you had more than one person signed up, all of their names would be here. You can then give yourself a due date. So your due date is for today. I'm recording the video. But if you've got something, say, that you need to reoccur. So I've got like monthly Patreon chats, or at the beginning of the month I do a monthly update for the channel on YouTube, that kind of stuff. You can set things to repeat. So they can be every 7 days or every day in a certain month. You can do it yearly, monthly, so on and so forth. So I find that really, really helpful. And you can see that it's now cyclic because it's got that little thing next to it. If you want to go into more detail, you can put in some more detail there. And if you've got more people underneath, what you can do is start attaching things like wireframes of stuff that you've done. Or if you've made like a audio intro, you can drop it into here as an attachment. So that everyone else can kind of see your file. So this is really good if you're having to work with people who are not in the same room as you. So distance working, that kind of stuff. I probably find it quite useful for doing podcasts and bits and bobs like that if you're doing remote working. So you can... I'll just put in, hey, what do you think? But what you can do is go at, and then... Sadly, there's only me to do, so I'll talk to myself. But once you do that, essentially, because Asana works on a desktop and on mobile, if you at someone and you talk to them, it pings them a push notification to their mobile device so that they can go, ooh, do. So you can deal with this kind of stuff on the fly. The mobile version doesn't have quite the same functionality because it doesn't have the calendar view, which is really what sells Asana for me. So just be aware of that if you're going to use the... mobile version a lot. So there you can see I am me. Now, in order for the colours to appear in the team calendar, you just need to dive over to projects and set a highlight colour. So I'm going to go for grey. So I've got record Smithy tip 2. Now I'm going to publish this on the 20th. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in publish Smithy tip 2. So very, very simple. Assign me a task and it's done. Now, these two are kind of there and done. And what I'm going to do is dive back to team calendar. And it seems to keep jiving back to March for some reason. I don't know why. I must have left a task there from ages ago or something. And what you will see, there you can see Smithy's tip 2 and publish Smithy tip 2 has now appeared on this team list. So everyone gets access to this when they can see it. Essentially, when you've completed a task, you can go in and tick the box and mark it as complete. So what I'm going to do is tick that as complete, and you can see that it's faded out, and that's all great. Now, there are different ways in how you can set up your tasks. So at face value, this is all that you need to know if you just want something to manage projects at quite a high level and keep things going. And that's really all that I need Asana for, so that does me fine. However, for advanced people, if you'd like to be extra advanced and ultra anal about how you want to manage stuff, you can go deeper, and this is still all on the free stuff. So I'm going to dive back to Smithy's tips. And what I'm going to do is set up what's called a Kanban board. So if you've ever done project management before, you have something which you essentially set up a wall of columns like buckets, and then you break down your project into tasks that are bite-sized pieces that you then move across from column to column, basically from conception to completion. You might have, I hate the term, but some people in business speak call it cradle to grave, which I think is awful. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename this column here. So we're going to go put in scheduled. So that can be that. We can then do recorded. We can then add another column, which is post-production. And then I'll do uploaded. And what we can do, and I guess if you're going ultra YouTubey, you could then put like an analytics review at the end there. But the idea is that you then, as you're adding tasks to your project, and you do that by just filling up, by pressing the plus here, so that can bring up a new task for you if you want it. And then you can fill stuff in. And you can dive straight into these and you can see everything that you've got. And that's what I really like, the flexibility of going back and forth. What you would then do is basically drag and drop these across the buckets as we go along. So currently this is recorded. Once I finish this, my audio goes into Audacity for me to do stuff. So it would go into post-production. Once the video is then put together with Sony Vegas, which is what I use, I would then upload it onto YouTube, and I do uploaded. And then once you've then completed all of that, and all of this then kind of goes across as we do there, everything will be done. I don't know why I've managed to do a record Smithy twice. Never mind. Because I set it to repeat, didn't I? Idiot. And that does it automatically. So as soon as I've said that task is done, the next one is scheduled the 7 days after that one is. So again, then publish would go across. So you would set out your buckets how you see fit. You can see that I've not already thought about that because these buckets don't work, but that's up to you to decide if you want to go down that route. So you have that route. You also have the list route, which is just this at face level. What you can also do is, if you want to keep tasks quite chunky, is that you can add subtasks into something. So when I do my website upgrade for June, providing I've got enough dosh in the bank to do so, because I want to have forums and stuff. So I'd put in there WordPress premium buy. Then I want to do BuddyPress buy. BuddyPress install. And then that's WordPress, Smart Snippet, review for Google, install. So those are the 4 things. Apologies, I just need the table there. You might have had a big bump. So these are the 4 sub things for basically making this whole task complete. So it's like a mini project in a project. And you can assign these to yourself. You can give them different dates. You can then upload different bits and talk to stuff as you go. And what you're essentially doing is going through and marking things as complete as you go. If you do set things up this way, or if you do set up a project that is completely these go on forever, these projects. So if you've got something that's quite finite, say I'm going to release a series of videos and then that project is done, or I'm releasing an album and that project is then done, you'll be able to see what your progress is like as you go along. Let me find something that's going to be a bit more meaty, because that's got 4 tasks remaining, 8 tasks complete. If I go to my YouTube channel, because I know that I've been going for this for quite a long time, because it was originally just this bit that I was doing. They can see 390 tasks completed, 11 remaining. And so you can kind of see how quickly you're going to stuff. And you can update the status to kind of say, I need help with this, that and the other, and then that notifies other people. That's much more on the project management side of things. If you're just looking at keeping on top of stuff, this is nice to have, but you don't necessarily need it. So that is Asana, free for everyone, up to 10 people playing with stuff. If you want really exciting stuff like a timeline view so that you can see stuff as you go, then that you have to upgrade and pay for. But yeah, not sponsored, but I absolutely love the tool, so I just wanted to share it with you. I hope that's of interest. You guys take care, and I'll be back with another Smithy tip soon. Bye for now.
This channel is just one of my many projects that cover games, music and film. If you enjoy any of these and would consider supporting me to develop further in the future, you can do so by visiting patreon.com/Satorimon. Thank you for your time and for watching the video.